Hi, this is Helena, and in this video I'm going to be answering a question I received from a woman in our community who wants to know how to tell if she can trust a man. This is such a great question. It's one that I get asked all the time from women, so hopefully this video will help you out if this is something you've been wondering yourself. I'm going to be sharing 4 signs that a man is trustworthy, and then at the end of the video I'm going to be sharing my top tip for how to figure out whether or not you can trust a man, so make sure to stay till the end to get that one. And before I get started, if this is your first time to my channel, be sure to click the button to subscribe to get all of my videos on how to attract the man and the relationship you want. So let's get started. The first sign that you can trust a man is if you've seen him to be trustworthy in other areas of his life, like maybe work, if he's trustworthy in his job or in business, the way he interacts with other people, or maybe with friends and family members. If he's shown himself to be trustworthy in other areas of his life, it's a sign that you can trust him. I had a friend who dated this man once who she saw it as sort of a red flag. He let her know that he kind of lied on his timesheets at work, and he justified it by saying that, he did it to support his lifestyle or something like that. And she saw that as a red flag, but she kept dating him anyway, and he definitely proved himself to be untrustworthy in that relationship. So that's just an example. There's all different kinds of examples here, but you want to watch how the man interacts with other people in his life and in business situations. It's really important. So if he's shown himself to be trustworthy with others, it's a sign that he'll be trustworthy with you, especially down the line in your relationship. So sign number 2 is that he's able to trust you. This one's a little subtle. It's interesting, there's that saying that if a man is always accusing you of cheating or lying, it's a sign that he might be doing those things. It's kind of like a projection. So if a man trusts you, if he's okay with you going out with your friends without him, and he's not always trying to look at your phone and things like that, if in general he trusts you and he's not controlling or super possessive of you, it's a sign that you can trust him as well. And it's sort of like a normal, healthy relationship dynamic, not a codependent situation or a dynamic where, he needs to know where you're at all times or try to control everything that you do. So if he can trust you and it just feels really easy and comfortable, it's a sign that you can trust him as well, because it's not this projection thing that might be happening. Sign number 3 is a really important one, and that is when a man follows through on what he says he's going to do. So if he says he's going to call, he calls you. If he, plans a date with you, he doesn't flake. Basically, he keeps his promises to you. Now, of course, every once in a while something comes up. There might be an emergency or something like that. But in general, if a man follows through on what he says he's going to do, that's how you really build trust with him, right? If a man is constantly breaking his promises to you, or if he's sort of over-promising and under-delivering every time, and that's a consistent pattern, it's going to be hard to build trust with him, right? So that's what you want to look for, consistent action and him being able to follow through on what he says he's going to do. That one is so important. And that brings me to sign number 4, and this one's also really important too. That is if he's really been honest and straightforward with you from the beginning. He's typically very honest and direct, even when he knows that you're not going to like what he says. I've certainly been in situations with men where they would kind of tell me what I wanted to hear, and it doesn't necessarily come from a bad place. If a man tends to be a people pleaser or he doesn't want to disappoint you, he might kind of tell you half-truths or not give you the whole story. On the other hand, if a man has always been really straightforward with you, always very honest and direct, even if he knows that you might not like what he has to say, it's a sign that you can trust him because he's even been honest in those situations. Like, for example, if maybe you normally see him on the weekends, but he has a friend coming into town, so he lets you know beforehand instead of letting you think that everything is normal, and then he breaks the promise at the last minute. It kind of goes along with the last sign. So if a man is really able to have those tough conversations with you, and he's always been very, authentic and straightforward, it's a sign that you can trust him. So those are the 4 signs of a trustworthy man. And my top tip for figuring out whether or not a man is trustworthy or whether or not you can trust him in certain situations is to really trust yourself. Something I've said before is that, you don't have to really worry about trusting a man as long as you trust yourself and your intuition. Your intuition as a woman and like your body sometimes is all the answers inside of you already. I know I've certainly been in situations where the signs were there at the beginning, these, maybe an alarm bell went off or I saw a red flag and my intuition kind of warned me, but I ignored that and went along with it anyway because I really liked the guy or I had strong feelings for him, and those things came out later. And this could be anything. It could be like, oh, he kind of, drinks a little too much, or he doesn't handle himself well when he's drinking, or, there's a lot of other women hanging around him, maybe an ex-girlfriend in the picture. If your intuition is telling you that something feels off, you want to really listen to that and trust yourself. So it all starts with trusting yourself. If you can really, trust yourself to catch those red flags early on and listen to your intuition, you're going to be able to move on much more quickly from men who are not trustworthy. So that's what I have for today. I hope that answered your question on how to tell if you can trust a man. I would love to hear from you. What did you think of these 4 signs? And if you have any others you'd like to add, type those into the comment section. I love hearing from you. And if you're looking to attract a really high quality, trustworthy man who wants to commit to you for a real relationship, check out my 3 keys to attract the man you want report and audio training. It's free on my website, helenahartcoaching.com. I'll post a link to that in the description of this video. And also, if you have a pattern of attracting untrustworthy men or unfaithful men or men who lie or anything like that, I also hosted a free teleclass on how to turn this around, how to stop attracting the wrong kind of men so you can attract the right one. And that is free on my website as well. So I'll post a link to that as well in the description. So everything is right below this video. Check those out and let me know what you think. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you next time.